Well, it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Peter Hart, Character Education Research Fellow here at the University of Leeds. And Peter is going to explain to us the 5 objectives of the Narnian Virtues Character Education English Curriculum. Peter.
So we know the ultimate aim of this curriculum is to develop the character of the students, but we've broken that into 5 different objectives to help us with the activities that we are producing. So first of all, we have understanding, which is developing students' virtue literacy, their knowledge of and definitions of the virtues that we have, and the concepts that surround them.
So this would be the synonyms task, where we have the semantic fields, and you have to put the words closer to the virtue in the middle, the closer they are to that virtue in meaning. So you have, you know, love in the middle, and the young people will be putting selflessness or kindness quite close to love. That helps them to understand the virtue.
Yes, absolutely. And matching cards as well, and learning the definitions through class as well. Our second aspect is identifying the virtues. This is a fairly large proportion of the curriculum where students will, predominantly through the Narnia novels, but through other extracts as well, be looking for where they can see virtues and vices being exhibited by the particular characters, highlighting and annotating what they've seen. Okay,
and can you provide any examples, Peter, of identifying from within the curriculum?
Absolutely. So we hope that when a student reads, for example, the passage where Edmund is first seeing the Queen and is offered the Turkish delight, the enchanted Turkish delight, that first of all a student might read that and recognise that Edmund, the way C.S. Lewis describes him, he isn't showing very much self-control at all. He starts to gorge himself on it. So they might take a highlighter or a pen and mark that as red or a vice.
So perhaps we can just turn to that, Edmund and the Turkish delight and self-control and why that's important. So here just one colour is being used, the red for vices rather than the green for virtues, highlighting Edmund's lack of self-control. So that's the identifying. So first of all, the readers understand what self-control means in terms of delayed gratification and regulation of one's appetites, and then they identify. So they understand and then they identify in the text that particular virtue.
Absolutely. Okay. And then the third objective is that they begin to empathise with the character. So often this is in a positive way. They empathise with a character who's feeling particularly virtuous or does something particularly good. But even in this extract with Edmund, students could hot seat. They could take a moment to spend a while thinking about what it was like to be Edmund in that situation, what led him to eat that Turkish delight. And therefore students can learn through negative example, well, sometimes I feel just like that. I feel like I would like to do something I kind of know deep down I shouldn't be doing, which helps them then.
Yeah, and empathising is reinforced, isn't it, by some of the tasks. For instance, the hot seating of Edmund, where children ask Edmund, one of their peers, in role, why did you do this? How did you feel about this? And tasks where they actually get inside Edmund.
Absolutely, yes. So in some ways it feels a lot like role play or some drama coming in, but we have other tasks as well around diary extracts or letter writing that also encourage students to just spend that time reflecting on what it was like for that character in that moment.
And we can report that from the first year of the data, the empathising aspect here, the empathising objective, has shown statistically significant improvement. The children who have participated for 12 weeks reading The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe and engaging in this curriculum that the empathising has been significantly affected, which we were pleased about.
We were, absolutely. And another area where we've seen that kind of statistical significance is in the way students value the virtues, which is the fourth of our 5 objectives. So in valuing the virtues, we have a series of activities where students will spend some time thinking about what positives can come out of enacting these virtues in their own lives.
So this is, why does the virtue matter?
Absolutely.
Do I care about this virtue?
Yes.
Do I have some kind of commitment to this virtue?
Yes. To provide a motivation to keep on going, to keep engaging, to keep trying, when actually sometimes applying these virtues can be quite difficult, quite tough.
And the empathising and the valuing is where, from the first year of the data, we've seen some statistically significant improvement, that these young people actually value the virtues, the Narnian virtues, more at the end than they did at the beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
What's the fifth one then? So we've done understanding. Number 1, understanding. Do we understand the definitions? Do we understand the meaning of different virtues? Then identifying the highlighter pen. Can you identify the virtue? Can you identify the vices in this case because it's red? Then the empathising. So
Yep.
the third one was empathising. The fourth one was valuing. And the fifth?
Is applying. It's actually putting these virtues into practice in their own lives. And although we have some activities in the curriculum that happens in school, where students are encouraged to develop a strategy, a plan for how they might take what they've learnt about Edmund or the other characters and enact that in their own lives, we also have the character passport, which students take home with them. And they use this as a way to begin putting these virtues into practice in their family lives. And Mark's going to tell us a little bit more about that.
So there are 6 tasks in the character passport, about a fortnight, 2 weeks per task, where the young readers get to practice the virtue. And the notion of the character passport is that you get to go further in life, you get to travel further, you get to see more, you get to enjoy more, you get to do more in life, you get to travel further if you have developed the range of virtues underpinning good character than you would be able to if you had not developed that good character. And just as when you go through customs, you have your passport stamped. In our character passport, there's space for a stamp here, which doesn't mean that the child, that the young reader has attained the virtue and is, fully demonstrating love or wisdom or justice or self-control or integrity or fortitude. But what it does mean is that they have visited the virtue. And by visiting the virtue, we mean that they've engaged in some sustained reflection about the virtue, and that they've had chance to practice the virtue. So they've actually looked at the virtue in the Lewis novel, and then they've gone through this process that Peter has explained, and then at home, using the character passport, they've had the opportunity, and they've taken that opportunity to practice the virtue in some way.
So when these workbooks and the curriculum goes into your school, they are the 5 aspects, the 5 objectives that you will find: the identifying, understanding, empathising, valuing and applying. Excellent.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. It's been a pleasure to talk to you and to have this explained so clearly for us, this 5-stage process. Any predictions for the future as the project goes on for longer in schools? Do you expect to see change in other ways? You're already picking up, the data's telling you that you're already picking up statistically significant change in the empathising and the valuing. What do we expect to happen next, or what might happen next if it's successful?
Okay. Well, We expect to see an increase in all areas. This is going to have 3 years worth of material. So we expect by the end of 3 years, which is essentially by the end of 3 novels and 36 weeks worth of curriculum, students will be showing an increase in all those 5 parts.
Tremendous. Thank you, Peter. Thank you.